So, today we're diving into a new kind of arms race. It's one that's being fought completely in silence with bits and bytes. We are talking about the absolutely game-changing role of artificial intelligence in cybersecurity. And look, this isn't just about building higher digital walls anymore. It's about creating defenses that can actually think, that can adapt, and yeah, even predict the enemy's next move. So let's just cut to the chase and start with a huge question. Why does it feel like we're losing the cyber war? I mean, you hear about it all the time, right? Bigger security budgets, more fancy tools. But the breaches, they just keep on coming. To really get why the solution is so different, we first have to understand just how big the problem has become. For years, cybersecurity has honestly felt like a fight that's almost unwinnable. Security teams are just facing this overwhelming force of modern cyber threats, and the old ways of doing things, they just aren't cutting it anymore. Not even close. Think about what they're up against. Modern threats are attacking on three fronts all at once. First, there's the sheer volume of attacks. It's an absolute tidal wave. Second, they're becoming so complex, they're basically designed to be invisible to old defenses. And third, they evolve faster than any human team could ever hope to track. It's a battle of speed, scale, and stealth, and the old playbook is, frankly, obsolete. So, if the old rules don't work, what's the answer? Well, this is where AI enters the picture. And it's not just another tool in the toolbox. It's a completely new kind of sentinel. We're talking about a massive shift, moving away from static, rigid rules to a model that's all about adaptive, intelligent learning. Here's probably the best way to think about it. Traditional security, it's like a bouncer at a nightclub with a list. If a known troublemaker's name is on that list, they're not getting in. Simple. But what about someone totally new who's about to cause problems? The bouncer's clueless. AI security, on the other hand, is like a detective inside the club. It doesn't need a list of names. It spends its time learning what normal looks like so it can spot anyone acting suspiciously, even if it's their first time there. It's all about behavior. So when we talk about AI and cybersecurity, that's really what we mean. We're talking about systems that can sift through unbelievable amounts of data to figure out what's normal, predict attacks based on things that look, well, not normal, and then automatically respond before a human even has time to grab their coffee. So how does this digital detective actually work? Well, first, the AI just watches. It studies the normal rhythm of a network. Who logs in, from where, what files they usually touch, and it builds a baseline of what's normal. Then its entire job is just to watch for anything that deviates from that pattern. The second it spots something weird, bam, it flags it for action way faster than any person could. All right, so enough with the theory. Let's see what AI's arsenal looks like in action. How are these systems really fighting on the front lines of our digital world? Let's start with malware. Your traditional antivirus software is like a gallery of wanted posters. It can only catch criminals we already have a picture of, right? So if a brand new piece of malware shows up, what we call a zero-day attack, that old system is totally blind. But an AI system, it isn't looking for a known face, it's watching for criminal behavior. For instance, imagine a new file lands on your computer. The AI has never seen it before. But then, that file suddenly tries to encrypt all your documents and call out to some sketchy server in another country. The AI doesn't care what the file is named, it just knows that what it's doing is textbook malicious behavior, and it shuts it down on the spot. And what about phishing emails? They're a huge one. In this case, the AI acts like a forensic expert. It analyzes the language for those classic scammer red flags, like a fake sense of urgency. It inspects the links to see if they're trying to trick you by impersonating a real website. And it checks out the sender, spotting when an email claims it's from your bank but is actually coming from some random bizarre address. Come on, we've all seen emails just like this. That urgent subject line, the panic-inducing message. And look closely at that URL, that little typo, log-lin instead of login. That's the kind of subtle clue a human might totally miss in a hurry. But it's exactly what an AI is trained to catch before that email can ever trick. And hey, this whole idea of watching behavior, it goes way beyond just viruses and phishing emails. AI is a critical player on the front lines of financial security, working around the clock to protect you and your money from fraud. The real superpower of AI here is that it never, ever sleeps. It is watching your financial transactions 24/7, in real time. So if your credit card, which you normally use for groceries in Ohio, suddenly buys $5,000 worth of electronics in another country, the AI flags that abnormal behavior instantly. It can block the transaction before you even know it happened. But look, just detecting a threat is only half the battle. Where AI becomes a true game changer is in its ability to automate the counterattack. We're not talking about responding at human speed anymore. We're talking about responding at machine speed. The very moment a threat is confirmed, an AI can take immediate, decisive action. It can block the attacker's IP address. It can quarantine an infected computer so a virus can't spread to the rest of the network. It can even instantly reset your password if it sees your account has been compromised. It completely takes that human delay out of the equation. And this is what we mean by machine speed. In the time it would take a human analyst to simply read the words in an alert, the AI has already detected the ransomware, isolated the system, and blocked the attacker. We are talking about fractions of a second. That right there is the difference between a minor hiccup and a catastrophic disaster. Okay, so let's pull back for a second. With all of that in mind, what's the actual state of this war? Let's get real about the benefits, the challenges, and where this tech is being used in the real world, right now. Now, this isn't some magic silver bullet. The benefits are obviously huge: faster detection, way fewer false alarms, and real-time protection. But the challenges are just as real. These systems need massive amounts of good, clean data to learn from, and they need skilled pros to manage them. And here's the real irony. The AI defender itself can become a target, with attackers trying to trick its algorithms or poison its data. And make no mistake, this is not science fiction. AI is already deeply woven into the systems you use every single day, whether you realize it or not. Banks use it to stop fraud on your card. E-commerce sites use it to protect your payments, and governments use it to defend critical national infrastructure. The silent sentinel is already on the job. And that brings us to our final thought, and it's a big one. We've just talked all about how AI is building a smarter, faster defense for us. But what happens when the attackers start using their own AI to build smarter, faster attacks? That is the true nature of this digital arms race. It's a constant escalation where both sides are learning from each other. And the next move? It's always just around the corner.